Elon Musk stepped into the dimly lit KFC, the scent of fried chicken blending with the quiet hum of the soda machines. Dressed in a simple black hoodie and jeans, he looked like any other exhausted customer grabbing a late-night meal. The restaurant was nearly empty, just a few employees cleaning up, a couple chatting near the window, and two little girls sitting alone. Each time someone walked past, they flinched slightly, as if expecting something bad to happen. Elon frowned. It was late. Too late for two young children to be sitting alone in a fast food restaurant. Something was wrong, and Elon Musk knew it. What happens next will shock you. This is a story of mystery, danger, and an unexpected hero stepping in when no one else would. But before we continue this story, let us know where you're watching from, and if you enjoy stories like this, subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow, we have another special story for you. The city never truly slept. Elon felt it every time he wrapped up a long day of work and wandered the streets of Los Angeles. The crowds thinned, the noise softened, but life never completely disappeared. Cars still hummed in the distance, neon lights flickered, and restaurants closed their doors one by one. But the night still had its own rhythm. He didn't usually eat fast food, but tonight he just wanted something quick, simple, and uncomplicated. That's how, just before midnight, he found himself stepping into a nearly empty KFC. The place was quiet. A couple sat by the window. A lone employee wiped down the tables absent-mindedly, and the manager counted cash behind the counter. Elon placed his order, grabbed his drink, and took a seat toward the back. He let out a slow breath, closing his eyes for a moment, feeling the exhaustion settle into his shoulders. But then, something caught his attention. At the farthest table there were two children, two young girls, no older than 7. They both wore pink Barbie shirts, slightly worn, and clutched a crumpled piece of paper tightly in their hands. But what stood out the most was the fact that they weren't eating. No fries, no drinks, nothing. They just sat there, staring at the door, as if they were waiting for someone. A quiet alarm went off in Elon's mind. He wasn't the type to get involved in strangers' affairs, but something about these girls felt wrong. Very wrong. Every time an employee passed near them, the girls seemed to shrink back slightly, as if afraid of being noticed. Elon observed in silence. He didn't want to jump to conclusions. Maybe their parents were in the bathroom. Maybe they had gone to grab something from the car. But as the minutes passed and no one showed up, that uneasy feeling in his chest only grew. He was about to let it go. Who was he to interfere? But then, it happened. The younger girl, who couldn't have been older than 6, rubbed her eyes with the sleeve of her pink shirt, and Elon realized she was crying. And in that moment, he knew. He couldn't just walk away. Elon Musk didn't want to scare them. He was well aware of the weight his presence carried. No matter how much he tried to blend in, people often recognized him. But these girls weren't looking at him with curiosity or excitement. They were afraid. He took a slow breath, grabbed his drink, and walked toward their table with calm, measured steps. "Hey there, everything okay?" His voice was soft, friendly. He lowered himself slightly, keeping a safe distance so he wouldn't seem imposing. The girls didn't answer. The older one, around 7 or 8 years old, lowered her gaze and gripped the crumpled paper even tighter. The younger one shrank back, clutching her sister's arm like it was the only thing keeping her safe. Elon immediately understood. They didn't trust him. And from the looks of it, they didn't trust anyone here. Elon looked around. The KFC remained quiet. But something about the atmosphere felt off. The manager stood at the counter, watching the girls, not with surprise, as if he had just noticed them, but with a look that said he already knew. In the kitchen, two employees whispered among themselves. One of them glanced toward the girls before quickly looking away. They knew something, but for some reason, no one was doing anything. Elon clenched his jaw, resisting the urge to demand answers right then and there. But if there was one thing he knew about scared children, it was that you don't earn their trust by pushing too hard. So, he did something simple. He walked back to the counter, ordered an extra soda, and as he passed by the girls' table again, he quietly placed the drink in front of them. No pressure, no words. Then he returned to his own seat. For a few seconds, the girls didn't move. The younger one glanced at the cup, then at her sister. The older girl didn't even acknowledge it. Elon waited, but to his surprise, they didn't touch the drink. Fear, not of hunger, not of thirst. Fear of accepting something. A cold shiver ran down Elon's spine. He glanced back at the employees. The manager quickly looked away. One of the kitchen workers wiped his hands on his apron, visibly uneasy. What the hell was going on here? Elon Musk knew he needed answers. He got up and walked over to the counter where a young cashier stood. The employee looked nervous, avoiding Elon's gaze. "Hey, sorry to bother you," Elon said calmly, but firmly. "Those girls over there, are they waiting for someone?" The cashier hesitated, his eyes darting toward the manager. Elon noticed the subtle shift, the way the young man's fingers twitched nervously. Then, after a long pause, he finally answered. "They've been here since this morning." Elon's stomach dropped. "Since this morning?" he repeated, disbelief in his voice. "And no one has come for them?" The cashier looked down, clearly uncomfortable. "No," he admitted quietly. Elon's mind raced. How could two little girls be sitting in a fast food restaurant for an entire day, and no one had done anything? Then he noticed something even more unsettling. Through the window, across the street, a man stood in the shadows, watching the KFC. He wasn't moving, just watching. A chill ran down Elon's spine. Something was very, very wrong.